The movie begins with a narrative about ancient feudal Japan, where witches and samurai coexisted. The land was governed by a shogun, and samurai who failed their masters would suffer the shame of becoming Ronin. To fully grasp the legend of the 47 Ronin, it is essential to comprehend the story behind it. In the opening scene, a young boy named Kai dashes through the woods, eventually collapsing and falling face first into a creek. A group of samurai discovers him, noticing claw marks on the back of his head. One of the samurai, Oishi, attempts to push Kai's face into the water, but Kai fights back and seizes Oishi's sword. Their master, Lord Asano, decides to bring Kai back to their province, Akko. Over time, Kai develops a bond with Asano's daughter, Mika, while facing disapproval from the other samurai due to his mixed heritage. Years later, an adult Kai finds himself in the woods when the samurai approach him. Suddenly, they are attacked by a massive creature adorned with enormous antlers. The beast rampages through the forest, nearly reaching the samurai Yasuno. Acting swiftly, Kai grabs Yasuno's sword and impales the beast's chest as it charges at him. Dragging Kai along, still holding onto the sword, the creature eventually succumbs to its injuries and perishes. Kai returns Yasuno's sword, but he is met with disrespect due to his mixed ancestry. Yasuno decides to sever a piece of the beast's antler. In the distance, Kai spots a white fox with one golden eye and one blue eye. The samurai return from their journey, and Mika anxiously searches for any injured individuals. Her father knows whom she is seeking and guides her to Kai, who bears a wound on his back. Mika tends to his injury by gently wiping it with a cloth. Aware of their societal divide, Kai understands that they can never be together, as he lacks royal blood and is seen merely as a half-breed. Meanwhile, Lord Kira, the ruler of a rival province, visits Akko in preparation for the shogun's arrival. Accompanying Kira is a witch named Mizuki. Kai notices her among the concubines and becomes intrigued by her unusual eyes. He reports his observation to Oishi, his new master. However, Oishi dismisses it, attributing Kai's fascination to the allure of a beautiful woman. A confrontation ensues when one of Kira's men, known as the Lovecraftian Samurai, challenges the samurai of Akko. Yasuno is designated to face him, but Kai and Oishi's son, Shikara, discover Yasuno with milky eyes, indicating that he has been bewitched. Determined to protect their people, Kai dons red armor and a mask, engaging in a duel with Kira's samurai. Despite his valiant efforts, Kai is defeated, and his mask is forcibly removed, exposing his identity to everyone present. The shogun orders the samurai to kill Kai, but Asano intervenes, taking responsibility for the situation. Kai endures a brutal beating until he falls unconscious. Mizuki senses Asano's vulnerability and extracts a purplish liquid from Kira's arm. She breathes onto it, creating a spider-like creature. Stealthily, she infiltrates Asano's room while he sleeps, setting the spider loose. The arachnid crawls over Asano's face and releases the liquid into his mouth, enchanting him. Mizuki manipulates Asano's perception, causing him to hear Mika's screams and pleas for help. In Asano's delusion, he witnesses Kira ravaging his daughter and retaliates by slashing into Kira's back with his sword. Asano is subdued by others as the enchantment wears off, and he realizes that Kira had not harmed Mika. Due to his attack on the unarmed Kira, the shogun condemns Asano to death. However, in order to maintain his honor, he allows Asano to perform seppuku. Asano, concerned for the well-being of their clan, entrusts Oishi with the task of safeguarding Mika. The solemn ceremony unfolds as Asano dons a white robe, preparing to meet his demise. Meanwhile, Kai, recovering from a brutal beating, awakens with a sense of unease, sensing that something is amiss. Witnessing her father plunge a blade into his abdomen, Mika observes Oishi reluctantly decapitating his master. The shogun declares the samurai as Ronin, and in the midst of the chaos, two women offer Mika a vial of poison to end her suffering. However, she defiantly proclaims that Akko has not yet fallen. Before departing, the shogun grants Mika a year-long mourning period before she is to be wed to Kira. He also commands Oishi and the other samurai not to seek revenge for their master's death. In fear of retaliation, Kira orders his men to cast Oishi into a pit. A year later, Oishi is rescued from the pit by his wife Riku and Chikara. Informed that Kira is preparing to marry Mika, Oishi learns that Kai has been sold into slavery in a Dutch town. Oishi ventures into the town and discovers Kai engaged in a duel with a formidable, disfigured opponent. With the crowd cheering, Kai emerges victorious, beheading his adversary. Oishi intervenes, creating the illusion of another duel. Engaging in a sword fight, Oishi informs Kai of Mika's dire situation, prompting them to escape together. Kai and Oishi rally the remaining Ronin and pledge to avenge their master by sending Kira to his doom. Oishi acquires a map and leads the Ronin to a village where they hope to obtain swords. However, the village sword makers, who serve Kira, refuse to provide them with weapons. Kai joins forces with the Ronin and aids them in battling the sword makers before leading them to an alternative source of swords. Guiding the Ronin to a temple belonging to the Tengu, a place from Kai's haunted past, he assures Oishi that they will be granted swords. However, Kai warns Oishi not to draw his weapon, regardless of what he witnesses inside. Kai approaches the Tengu Lord, a serpentine-faced man, requesting the sword stuck in the ground. The master, taunting Kai about his childhood, permits him to take the sword. Meanwhile, Oishi remains with the other Tengu in the room. When one Ronin unsheathes his sword, the Tengu attack the samurai, but Oishi steadfastly refrains from drawing his own weapon. Engaging in combat, Kai eventually seizes the sword and nearly beheads the Tengu Lord. Reuniting with Oishi, Kai reveals that their swords have been granted as a result of his success in the test. He resisted the temptation to draw his weapon. The illusions they witnessed posed no real harm to their comrades. Mizuki, disguised as a geisha, infiltrates a nearby village with the intention of deceiving and seducing a fellow Ronin. Just as the Ronin stumble upon the village, they are ambushed by Kira's men. Mizuki unleashes her fiery powers to attack the Ronin, while the Lovecraftian samurai joins in, mercilessly killing some and leaving others burned alive. Once it seems that most of the Ronin have been wiped out, Mizuki seizes Oishi's sword and departs, leaving destruction in her wake. Kai and Oishi attend to the surviving Ronin, including Basho, a once bullying Ronin who expresses remorse for his past actions before succumbing to his injuries. Oishi carries the burden of regret for not pursuing Kira after their master's death. Under the cover of night, Mizuki enters Mika's room while she sleeps, taunting her with false news of Kai, Oishi, and the rest of the Ronin's demise. Mizuki slips Mika a knife, claiming she won't harm her, but whatever Mika does is no concern of Mizuki's. Before making their final stand, Yasuno apologizes to Kai for his earlier disrespect and expresses gratitude for being saved from the beast. He presents Kai with a sword and bows in respect. The Ronin, including Yasuno, sign their names on a scroll with their own blood, symbolizing their commitment to honor their master. Oishi declares, "We are now 47. On their journey back to Akko, they encounter a troupe of performers who recognize Oishi and the Ronin from their previous visit. Oishi implores them for assistance. Kai and Oishi, disguised among the performers, infiltrate Akko as Kira and Mika's wedding ceremony is about to commence. The remaining Ronin scale the walls and eliminate Kira's guards. Disguised as part of the performance, Oishi moves closer to Kira, triggering a battle between Kira's men and the Ronin. In the midst of the chaos, Kira flees with Mika, while Mizuki slips away unnoticed. The Lovecraftian samurai prepares to attack, but is thwarted by a Ronin who throws a bomb, obliterating the monstrous warrior. As Kira and Mika escape, Mika brandishes the knife given to her by Mizuki and lunges at Kira. Before she can strike, guards arrive, granting Mika an opportunity to flee. Oishi confronts Kira in a fierce battle, while Kai reunites with Mika and embraces her. However, Mizuki corners them, intent on causing harm. Kai, undeterred, faces her fearlessly as she warns him of the consequences. Transforming into a colossal serpent-like dragon, Mizuki attacks Kai relentlessly. Despite numerous close calls, Kai manages to counter her strikes and impales her with his sword, causing her to revert to her human form just before her demise. Elsewhere, Oishi's confrontation with Kira reaches its climax in a chamber. Holding a knife to Kira's abdomen, Oishi proclaims, "Witness the depth of my master's courage." He drives the knife into Kira, then beheads him. Oishi presents Kira's severed head before the others, marking the end of the battle. Having avenged their master's death, the Ronin journey to Lord Asano's grave, allowing him to finally rest in peace. Oishi addresses the shogun, openly admitting his crimes and expressing his only request for respect towards his men's actions. The shogun, acknowledging that their transgressions merit execution by hanging, recognizes the honor behind their quest for vengeance on behalf of Lord Asano. Consequently, he grants them permission to perform a noble act of self-death. A tear rolls down Oishi's cheek, mirroring Mika's own sorrow. Before Kai faces his inevitable demise, he and Mika share a poignant final moment together. They make a heartfelt vow to reunite in their next existence and seal their farewell with a final kiss. The solemn ceremony for the Ronin's ritual suicide, known as seppuku, commences. Amidst this solemn event, the shogun calls upon Chikara and grants him clemency, allowing him to continue Oishi's bloodline. As Kai drives the blade into his own abdomen, his gaze meets Mika's one last time. Later, Mika stands on a bridge, reading a message from Kai that reaffirms his commitment to finding her in whatever realm awaits her in the future. The narrator emphasizes that the legend of the 47 Ronin persevered throughout generations. The closing text reveals that on every December 14th, thousands gather at the Ronin's graves to pay tribute to their extraordinary deeds. The film draws inspiration from their remarkable story. And that's the end of the story. I hope you liked it. Comment down below what movies do you like us to recap next. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time.